welcome to another Fragments of Silicon review session. 4 reviews up this week. The first of which is a game called Paradise Killer. That's a title that has a bit of a double meaning in that how do I put this? You are investigating a killer in Paradise, rather Paradise Island. That is to say, this whole game is very weird. If you can see the footage.
Yeah? Yeah.
I think I've described this game as it's Danganronpa meets Hotline Miami, and I think that really holds. Because there's a lot going on in this game, but very briefly, you are an investigator, an investigation freak called by some, named Lady Love Dies. It's that kind of game, folks. Like, who's been dealing with a spate of exile because she apparently fell under the influence of a dark god and led a rebellion. Admittedly, that's less important than what's going on in the here and now. That is, so Paradise Island is this world outside reality where a cabal known as the Syndicate is trying to reach literal perfection. And they've been at this for thousands of years. Apparently, the first wave of them were all born around the year 1000 in various places, and did various things until they joined the Syndicate. And, they were awakened by the first god and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot going on in terms of world building and lore. I suppose when you're dealing with gods and heavenly beings, that comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to talk about this game because it's so abstract in certain regards. But anyway, the lead council has suddenly been murdered on the eve of their next ascension. So, in order to reach perfection, they keep building this Paradise Island. This is actually Paradise Island number 24. And they're about to go to Paradise Island 25 when the lead people get killed. And, it's like... And this is stunning in a lot of regards, not just because, the leaders of this syndicate have been killed. It's because they were locked behind 4 impossible locks, and the killer managed to bypass all of them. And, this is such a stunning crime. The case file calls it the crime to end all crimes. That... you as the criminal exile have been brought in because there's no one else who can solve this. Now, mind you, they are, when the thing starts, they have a very obvious suspect with a very obvious motive who had a very obvious weapon that was found on him. And, and it's your job to find out whether or not the very obvious is the truth, or if there's something deeper.
And of course, if it's that obvious, then it must be what they want you to think.
Right, and that's kind of part of what's going on in the background. But, so this game is interesting in another way, in that this is an actual full-born detective investigation simulator thing. You might compare it to Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright, but if you recall, the investigative phase of those games were very perfunctory.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're very in-depth, but usually there's only, one correct thing you can do. The depth comes from the number of incorrect things you can do instead, generally.
Right. This game is a lot different in that regard, in that you are given this whole island to explore, and you can explore it. just as much time, if not more, honestly, is going to be spent on the investigation phase. Because, once again, it's, like the point of Danganronpa, the point of Phoenix Wright is the trials, getting people on the witness stand and that kind of thing. Here, oh no, you've actually got to find the clues. You've actually got to talk to the suspects and compare notes and all that stuff.
Although, to be fair, in Phoenix Wright, you're not playing a detective. You're playing a lawyer who the detectives won't help.
Right.
Which is why you have to do the detective work, too.
My point is, like, you're an actual detective and you are in that role. And the thing is, you can actually go to trial at any point in the game. The ending that you will get will depend on the evidence collected. And there's multiple endings, obviously. You know, I did a bit of the trial phase just to see what it's like, and yeah, it's you got to present your evidence that you got to prove or disprove a thing. And I think to unlock the actual story, the full story, oh geez, that's going to take a long time. Because once again, you're in a fully 3D first-person world, and you have to do the exploring, and there's a lot of stuff to collect. It's not just clues. You've got to collect currency, which are blood crystals, which allow you to buy things from the mundane. Like the fast travel system actually uses the in-game currency. I gotta admit, I didn't really like that. Like, it was one thing to unlock that, as a measure of unlocking, but to actually use currency to fast travel kind of defeats the purpose of fast travel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like you actually have to. It's an actual taxi that you have to use.
Yes, it's an actual. Yeah, it's an actual intergalactic or interdimensional or interspiritual whatever taxi. She's like the fairy woman is actually your best friend from way back when, though she is still a suspect, and she's got her old hidden backstory and all that stuff. And there's a whole bunch of relics, various mementos that I'm not sure what does exactly. Found to use for only a few of them, but like they're mementos of previous islands. There's also like ghosts that were left because in order to power the world, the syndicate has to kidnap ordinary people from the real world, bring them over, and their prayers power the apparatus, as it were. And when an island reaches, let's say, maturity, they all get ritual slaughtered.
Fun.
Yeah, this actually comes up in the game. Like, are you the actual good guys here kind of deal? It's a whole bunch of stuff. But, yeah, and the interface works fairly well. Like, I actually use the controller for first person, which I don't often do. But, like, there's no pixel hunting, thankfully. I mean, you do have to look for stuff, and looking for stuff is actually really involved, to the point where you will unlock, let's say, platforming abilities. Like, you will unlock a double jump. You will unlock a midair dash. I know that might be a bit unexpected until you actually try to navigate the world, because like there are tall buildings you can't scale and all that kind of thing. But as I said, they really, really put a lot of effort into this phase of the game. Like, honestly, I felt like a bit too much effort because, well, yeah, you're going to spend a long time exploring. Maybe not so much time solving the case. But, it's definitely something that differentiates it from other games of this nature. Let me see. Yeah. So the graphics, the sound, everything is very stylized. It's got this It's got a very synthwave 1980s Miami vibe going on here, though it's no specific time period. But this is where the Hotline Miami stuff comes into play. And it's got its soundtrack is fantastic. Honestly, the style is what I really like the most out of everything, because it's an evocative of familiarity, but it's very much its own thing. And let me see here. This game would have been in my top 3 of the year if it weren't for a bit of a problem. And this is one of the more technically messy games I played in recent memory. A lot of crashes. One point right before I saved.
Ooh.
That was a good 30 minutes of progress lost. Now, the game ran fine, which is good, because Unreal Engine and my laptop aren't the best of buddies. But yeah, as to go in more would give it away, and you should absolutely play this game if you can. And right now, I believe it's available on the Nintendo Switch and Windows PC Steam. And let's see, it's currently retailing for $20. Soundtrack is $9.99. Bundle price $24.48. The Perfect 25 edition. I would recommend the Perfect 25 edition, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable price for this package. Now, this is absolutely a soundtrack I will probably listen to outside of the game. And yeah, solid. Now, I can't say if I like it more than, say, Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright. I got to admit, I liked more of the focus on the trial ethos that those games carried. But, still a solid recommendation. Any questions or comments from the team here?
No, I think mine been answered.
Same here.
Either have been answered or are clearly spoilers.
All right, then. So that'll about do it for Paradise Killer here. Be sure to tune in after the break, as the Golics will be reviewing Prehistoric Dude.